What if I told you some of the oldest pennies in your collection, and even a coin from the 1970s, could be hiding a value you never expected? Sounds unbelievable, but stay with me, because in today's video, we're uncovering 5 powerful Lincoln Wheat Pennies and classic cents from the early 1900s all the way to a modern-era coin, each one carrying its own hidden story, rarity, and collector demand. From 1913s, 1915d, 1917, and 1919s, wheat pennies that survived more than a century of history, to the 1971 OD, Lincoln penny that proves even common. Coins can hold surprising secrets. These coins may look simple in your hand, but in reality, they can be worth hundreds, thousands, even more, depending on small details most people never notice. And here's the twist. Some of these coins are still sitting quietly in old jars, family collections, or even mixed with everyday change. So imagine this. What if one of those old pennies you ignored was actually the one collectors are searching for? Before you spend or overlook your next coin, take a closer look, because sometimes the smallest penny carries the biggest hidden value. Welcome back. Coin number 1, 1913 S. Lincoln Wheat Penny, a quiet survivor with a powerful story. Imagine holding a coin that has silently traveled through more than a century, passed from hand to hand, through shops, markets, and everyday life, witnessing a completely different world, long before modern cities, smartphones, or even electricity in many homes. That's exactly what the 1913 S. Lincoln Wheat Penny represents. At first glance, it doesn't try to impress you. No shine, no flashy design, no obvious sign of greatness. But here's the truth. This coin is one of those rare pieces where the real value is hidden in its past, its scarcity, and the fact that so few good examples survived. And that's what makes it so powerful. A journey back to 1913. Let's go back to the year 1913. America was growing fast, industries expanding, railroads connecting cities, and people relying heavily on coins for daily life. Back then, a single penny had real buying power. Coins were used constantly, without care for preservation. Collecting coins wasn't common among everyday people. So when a penny entered circulation, it was used hard, scratched, worn, dropped, exchanged, until most of its original detail slowly disappeared. Now imagine how many coins from that time survived in good condition. Very few. And that's exactly why the 1913 S penny stands out today. The S that changes everything. Here's the small detail that makes a huge difference. The S mint mark. This tiny letter means the coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint, a Taicho facility known for lower production numbers compared to other mints. In 1913, only about 6.1 million coins were made. Now compare that to modern pennies, where billions are produced every year. Suddenly, that small S doesn't feel so small anymore. Built from real bronze. Unlike modern pennies made mostly of zinc, the 1913 S wheat penny was crafted from solid bronze. 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. This gives it a rich, warm color, a heavier, more solid feel. A classic appearance collectors love. Over time, these coins develop unique tones, some dark, some slightly reddish, each telling its own story. The face, everyone recognizes. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln. This design was revolutionary when it first appeared in 1909. It was the first time a real person was featured on a regular U.S. coin. Look closely and you'll find, "In God We Trust, Liberty, 1913. And just below, that important S mint mark. Collectors don't just glance at this side, they study it. They check the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the condition of his cheek, the overall wear of the coin, because every small detail affects value. A symbol of simplicity, the wheat reverse. Flip the coin over. you'll see the classic wheat ears design, simple, balanced, and deeply symbolic. 1 cent in the center, United States of America below. E pluribus unum at the top. 2 wheat stalks on both sides. These wheat lines are important. The sharper they are, the more valuable the coin becomes. Value, where things get interesting. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know. How much is it worth? Circulated coins, worn. 15s, $40, basic condition. $40, 100, moderate condition. $100, 300 plus, better detail. Even worn coins hold solid value. Higher grade coins, $300, 1,000 plus. Now we're entering serious collector territory. Uncirculated coins, 500 log, 5,000 plus. Coins with no wear become much rarer and much more valuable. Top-level gems, $10,000, 25,000 plus. These are coins that look almost untouched, as if they just left the mint over 100 years ago. Color, a hidden multiplier. Here's something many beginners miss. Color matters a lot. Copper coins are graded into brown, most common. Red-brown, more valuable. Red, extremely valuable. A fully red 1913s penny is incredibly rare, and collectors pay premium prices for it. Tiny details, big money. Sometimes, even within this rare coin, there are extra surprises. Look for slight doubling in letters, repunched mint marks, small die cracks. These details might seem minor, but to collectors, they can add serious value. A costly mistake most people make. Let's be clear about one thing. Never clean this coin. It might feel like a good idea, but cleaning removes original surface quality and can reduce the value dramatically. Even a coin worth thousands can drop in price instantly if it's cleaned. Where could you find one? It sounds rare, and it is. But coins like this still appear in old family collections, estate sales, antique shops, wheat penny rolls. Sometimes they sit unnoticed for decades, waiting for someone to recognize them. Why this coin stands out. The 1913s Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just valuable, it's respected, because it represents a time when coins were used heavily, a mint that produced fewer pieces, a survival story across more than a century, a challenge for collectors to find in top condition. At the end of the day, the 1913s Wheat Penny teaches one simple lesson. Value isn't always about what you see. Sometimes it's about what survived, what's rare, and what others failed to notice. So the next time you come across an old wheat penny, pause for a moment. Check the date. Look for that small S mint mark, because that quiet, worn coin in your hand might just be worth a small fortune. Coin number 2, 1915D. Lincoln Wheat Penny. A silent piece of history. With growing value. What if a small, worn penny in your hand had already lived through more than 100 years of history? Think about that for a second. Wars, economic changes, generations of people. And through all of it, this one coin kept moving. From one pocket to another, from one story to the next. That's exactly what the 1915D Lincoln Wheat Penny represents. At first glance, it doesn't demand attention. No shine, no luxury feel, no obvious sign of rarity. But here's the truth. This is one of those coins where time, survival, and subtle details combine to create real value. Let's travel back to the year 1915. America was still growing into a major industrial power. Cities were expanding, transportation was improving, and coins were an essential part of daily life. Back then, a penny had real purchasing power. Coins were used constantly, without care. Nobody thought about saving coins for the future. So when a penny entered circulation, it worked hard. It was dropped, scratched, exchanged hundreds, sometimes thousands of times. That's why today finding a coin from that era in good condition is not easy. And that's exactly what gives the 1915D penny its importance. The power of the D mint mark. Now, let's focus on the detail that makes collectors stop and look twice. The small D mint mark. This indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. In 1915, the Denver Mint produced around 22 million coins. Now, compared to modern standards, that number is very small. Today, billions of pennies are made every year. But here's the key point. Most of those 22 million coins didn't survive in good condition. They were used, worn down, and eventually lost or damaged. So while the coin itself isn't extremely rare in lower grades, finding one in high condition is where the real challenge and value begins. A true bronze coin. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc, the 1915 D wheat penny is made from solid bronze, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. This gives the coin a completely different feel. Heavier, richer in color, more durable. Over time, these coins develop deep brown tones or sometimes a mix of red and brown, each one unique. Collectors love this natural aging process. The front, a historic portrait. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln. This design was groundbreaking when introduced in 1909, marking the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. coin. On this side, you'll find "In God We Trust, Liberty, 1915." And just below, the D mint mark. Collectors don't just look at the date, they study the details. They check. Lincoln's hair, is it sharp or worn? The cheek, smooth or detailed? The overall surface, scratches, marks, luster? These small features determine the coin's grade and its value. The back, wheat ears design. Flip the coin. You'll see one of the most iconic designs in U.S. history. 2 wheat stalks framing the center. 1 cent. United States of America. Je pluribus unum. This design symbolizes simplicity and strength. But for collectors, the focus is on the sharpness of the wheat lines. The more detail you can see in those wheat ears, the more valuable the coin becomes. Value. From ordinary to impressive. Now let's talk numbers. Circulated coins, worn. $10, $25, basic condition. $25, $60, moderate detail. $60, $150 plus, strong detail. Even in worn condition, the coin holds solid value. Higher grade coins, $150, 500 pluses. Now we're entering serious collector territory. Uncirculated coins, $800, 2,500 flowers. Coins with little to no wear are much harder to find. Premium quality coins, $25,000 or more. These are coins that look almost untouched, extremely rare after more than 100 years. Color, the hidden multiplier. Here's something many people overlook. Color can change everything. Copper coins are graded into brown, most common. Red-brown, more desirable. Red, highly valuable. A bright red, 1915 D penny, is extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay big money for it. Small details, big impact. While the 1915 D isn't famous for major error coins, you should still look for slight doubling in letters, decracks, strong or weak strikes. These details can add extra value and uniqueness. One wrong move can cost you. Let's make this clear. Never clean the coin. Cleaning may make it look better to the eye, but to collectors, it destroys originality and can reduce value instantly. Even a high-value coin can lose most of its worth if cleaned. Where could it be hiding? Even though it's over a century old, this coin can still be found in old family coin jars, estate collections, antique shops, wheat penny rolls. Sometimes, these coins sit unnoticed for decades. Why this coin stands out. The 1915 D Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't flashy. It doesn't scream for attention. But it carries. Over 100 years of history, a respected mint mark, limited survival in high condition, strong collector demand. It's a coin that rewards those who pay attention to detail. The 1915 D Wheat Penny teaches one powerful lesson. Not everything valuable looks valuable. Sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coin holds the most extraordinary story. So next time you come across an old wheat penny, don't rush, check the date. Look for that small D mint mark, because that quiet little coin in your hand might be worth far more than you think. Coin number 3, 1917. Lincoln Wheat Penny, an everyday coin, with a story that time couldn't erase. What if a coin could tell stories? Not just of money, but of moments. Moments from a world that looked completely different from today. That's exactly what the 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents. At first glance, it feels ordinary. No rare-looking shine, no dramatic design, just an old wheat penny like many others. But here's the truth. This coin comes from a time when history was being written, and it has quietly survived through it all. And sometimes, survival alone is what creates value. 1917, a world in transition. Let's step into the year 1917. This was not just another year. It was the time when the United States entered World War I, a major turning point in global history. During this period, the economy was shifting. Resources were being redirected. Everyday life was changing. And through all of this, coins like the 1917 penny were being used constantly in daily transactions. No one was thinking about collecting them. No one was preserving them. They were simply tools of everyday life, which means most of them didn't survive in good condition. Production and mint varieties. The 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced in 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; San Francisco, S. Each version has its own level of rarity and value. Approximate mintages: Philadelphia, 196 million; Denver, 255 million; San Francisco, 32 million. So while the Philadelphia version is more common, the D and S mint coins are more desirable, especially in higher grades. Classic bronze composition. Like other early wheat pennies, the 1917 coin is made of bronze, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. This gives it a solid, heavy feel, a warm copper tone, a timeless vintage look. Over decades, these coins develop different shades: dark brown, reddish tones, or mixed surfaces. Each one tells its own story. The front, Lincoln's legacy. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, a design that changed U.S. coinage forever. On this side, you'll see, "In God We Trust, Liberty, 1917, mint mark if present." Collectors focus on hair detail, cheek condition, overall wear. The sharper the features, the higher the value. The back, wheat ears design. Turn the coin over. You'll see the classic wheat ears framing the design. 1 cent. United States of America. Je pluribus unum. The wheat lines are extremely important. Sharp, visible wheat details mean less wear, more value. Value breakdown. Now let's get into what this coin can be worth. Circulated coins. Philadelphia, $5, $20. Denver, D, $15, $50. San Francisco, S, $20, $80+. Better condition coins, $50, 200 plus. Uncirculated coins, $300, 500+. High-end examples, $3,000, $40,000, especially for rare mint marks in excellent condition. Color, the game changer. Like all copper coins, color plays a major role. Brown, most common. Red-brown, more valuable. Red, highly valuable. A fully red 1917 penny is rare, especially after more than 100 years. Rare errors to look for. While not the most famous for errors, some 1917 pennies can show slight doubling, decracks, off-center strikes. These can increase value significantly. Don't make this mistake. If you find one, do not clean it. Cleaning removes the original surface and can destroy collector value. Even a valuable coin can lose most of its worth instantly. Where you might find it. Even today, this coin can appear in old coin jars, estate collections, antique markets, wheat penny rolls. Many people overlook them because they seem common, but collectors always check carefully. Why this coin matters. The 1917 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands out because it comes from a historic year. It has multiple mint varieties. It's over 100 years old. High-grade examples are rare. It offers strong collector demand. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of history you can hold. The 1917 Wheat Penny may not look extraordinary, but it carries a century of history, survival, and hidden value. And that's what makes it special. So next time you see an old wheat penny, don't ignore it. Check the date. Look for the mint mark, because sometimes the most ordinary coin holds the most powerful story. Coin number 4, 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a post-war survivor with quiet rarity. What if a simple penny was actually a witness to the world rebuilding itself? Not just any year, but a year right after one of the biggest global events in history. That's the story behind the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it looks like any other old wheat cent. Dark, worn, maybe even ignored. But look closer. Because this coin comes from a time when the world was recovering from World War I, and millions of coins were pushed into heavy circulation to support everyday life. And that's exactly why finding one today, especially in good condition, is far more interesting than it seems. 1919, after the war. The year 1919 marked the end of a major chapter in history. World War I had just ended, and countries, including the United States, were adjusting back to normal life. During this time, economic activity increased. Coins were used more frequently. Little attention was given to preserving them. So coins like the 1919 penny were used heavily, worn down quickly, and rarely saved. That means most of them didn't survive in high condition. The S mint mark, small detail, big impact. Now, let's talk about the most important detail, the S mint mark. This indicates the coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, a mint known for lower production numbers compared to Philadelphia. In 1919, only about 139 million coins were produced in San Francisco. Now, that might sound like a large number, but compared to the Philadelphia version, which had hundreds of millions more, the S Mint coin is noticeably scarcer, especially in higher grades. Classic bronze build, the 1919 S. Wheat penny is made from the classic bronze composition. 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight, 3.11 grams. Unlike modern zinc pennies, this coin feels heavier, more solid, rich in copper tone. Over time, each coin develops unique coloring, dark brown, reddish, or mixed. Obverse, Lincoln in detail. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln, along with In God We Trust, Liberty, 1919. S mint mark. Collectors carefully inspect hair detail, cheek condition, surface marks. The more detail that remains, the higher the value. Reverse, wheat ears design. Flip the coin over. You'll see the iconic wheat ears framing the design. 1 cent. United States of America. Je pluribus unum. The wheat lines are key. Sharp, visible wheat details mean less wear and more value. Value breakdown. Now let's talk about what this coin can be worth. Circulated coins. $10, 25's basic condition. $25, $80, better detail. $80, 200 pluser, strong condition. Higher grade coins. $200, 800 plus. Uncirculated coins. Chetbrate, 4,000 plus. Premium examples. $8,000, 45,000. Lower. Especially for coins with strong original surfaces. Color, a major factor. Copper coins are graded by color. Brown, BN, common. Red-brown, RB, more valuable. Red, RD, extremely valuable. A fully red 1919 S penny is rare and highly sought after. Hidden details to watch. Some coins may show repunched mint marks, decracks, minor doubling. These small features can increase collector interest. A critical warning: if you ever find one, do not clean it. Cleaning removes the original surface and can destroy value instantly. Collectors prefer coins in their natural state, even if they look worn. Where you might find it. Even today, this coin can appear in old collections, estate sales, wheat penny jars, antique shops. Many people overlook them because they seem common, but collectors always check carefully, especially for that S mint mark. Why this coin stands out. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny is special because it comes from a post-war era. It has a scarcer mint mark. It's over 100 years old. High-grade examples are difficult to find. It holds strong collector demand. It's not just about age, it's about survival. The 1919 wheat penny may look simple, but behind that simplicity is a coin that has survived through one of the most important periods in history, and that survival creates value. So next time you see an old wheat penny, check the date. Look for that small S mint mark, because that quiet copper coin might be carrying more value than you ever expected. Coin number 5, 1971 D Lincoln Penny, a modern coin with a hidden twist. What if I told you? A coin from the 1970s, something most people still remember, could quietly hold more value than you ever expected. Not ancient, not rare-looking, not even silver. Just a simple 1971 D Lincoln Penny. At first glance, it feels completely ordinary. You might have seen dozens of these, maybe even ignored them without a second thought. But here's where things change, because sometimes the most common coins hide the most unexpected details. 1971, a different kind of era. By the time we reach 1971, America had already moved far beyond the early wheat penny years. Coins were still made mostly of copper, but the system was changing. Silver coins had recently been removed from circulation. Production numbers were increasing. Coins were becoming more common in appearance. But here's the key point. Even in a modern era, minting wasn't perfect. And that's where opportunity begins. The D mint mark. The 1971 D Lincoln Penny was struck at the Denver Mint. The small D mint mark below the date confirms this. In 1971, the Denver Mint produced over 2.9 billion coins. That's a huge number. So yes, this coin is common in general, but common doesn't always mean worthless, because within those billions of coins, there are small variations, rare conditions, and hidden details that collectors look for. Composition and feel. Unlike earlier bronze pennies, this coin is made of 95% copper, 5% zinc, weight 3.11 grams. It still has that classic copper feel, unlike later zinc pennies. That makes it part of the last generation of solid copper cents. Obverse, a familiar design. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln, along with "In God We Trust," Liberty, 1971, D mint mark. Collectors inspect, luster, shine, surface quality, strike sharpness, because even a common coin can become valuable in exceptional condition. Reverse, Lincoln Memorial. Flip the coin over. You'll see the Lincoln Memorial design, used from 1959 to 2008. 1 cent. United States of America. Je pluribus unum. If you look closely, you can even see Lincoln's statue inside the memorial. This design is simple, but iconic. Value. From common to collectible. Let's be honest. Most 1971 D pennies are worth face value 1 cent. But that's only for typical circulated coins. Better condition coins, $1, $5. Uncirculated coins, $10, 50 plus. High-grade examples, $100, 500 plus. Coins with strong luster and minimal marks can attract serious collector interest, where the real value hides. Now, here's the part that changes everything. Errors and high-grade condition. 1. Double die errors. Some 1971 pennies show doubling in letters, dati, design elements. Strong examples can be worth $50 to $3,000 a plus. 2. Off-center strikes. Coins struck incorrectly can be very valuable. Minor off-center, $20, $100. Major off-center, $200, $5,000 a plus. Drittens, die cracks and cuts. Raised lines or unusual bumps can add uniqueness. Collectors often pay premiums for interesting error coins. Color, the hidden upgrade. Copper coins are graded by color. Brown, BN, common. Red-brown, RB, better. Red, RD, premium. A bright red, 1971D. Penny with full luster is much more valuable than a dark, worn one. One mistake to avoid. If you find a shiny or unusual coin, do not clean it. Cleaning removes the natural surface and reduces value instantly. Even a potentially valuable coin can lose most of its worth, where you can still find it. Because billions were made, you can still find this coin in pocket change, coin jars, bank rolls, old collections. That means the search is still active. Why this coin matters. The 1971D Lincoln penny proves something important. Value is not always about age. It's about condition, errors, details most people miss. Final thought. The 1971D penny may look like the most ordinary coin in your collection, but hidden among billions of common pieces are a few that stand out, quietly, unexpectedly, and sometimes very profitably. So next time you see a 1971 penny, don't ignore it. Take a closer look, because sometimes the most common coin hides the most uncommon opportunity.